Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 86, week number 85. Bienvenidos. I'm Coach SI VIP with you and joined by these amazing players by the Puma chat as well. Welcome one and all. Again, I do apologize for not being able to go live yesterday. This is going to be a replay cast. The KSL was actually live less than 24 hours ago and we were unable to cover it live. So I do apologize for that, but we are here. We are back this morning to bring you the KSL. Let's go, baby. Let us go. Again, it's been a very intense, very busy weekend. Of course, a Home Story Cup has been taking place. As we mentioned previously, we have been covering and we have been the B stream for Home Story Cup for the past couple of years. But today is an exception to that, or this weekend is the exception, where we are unable to be the B stream. Unfortunately, things have been happening IRL. I did make a tweet yesterday did make a tweet about it, referencing it, and hopefully we should be getting back into regular casting coming into February, end of February into March. We'll see, fingers crossed, baby, fingers crossed. But regardless, we're here to jump into the Korean StarCraft League. Again, this is an open tournament. It's an open cup here every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we do have a KSL, and we have our first series ready for you. It's going to be a best of 3 between herO and SortOf. Also, you might be hearing me sound a little bit different. So I do apologize. I'm using a different headset. The cord on my previous headset did fray a little bit and was not working well, so I had to order a new cord. It's going to take like a week or two for that to arrive, so until then you might hear me be a little bit different. For whatever reason, changing the headset does change the quality of the audio outputs and inputs, so that's why you might hear me a little bit differently. Do apologize if you hear some echoing as well. This headset is not noise cancelling, so sometimes I think the audio from the headset does leak out into the microphone, so that's why you might hear like an echo or something. And we'll be fine. Again, it shouldn't last for too long. Eventually we'll get a new cord and eventually be able to get back into the swing of things. But here we go. Going to be loading into our first game. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Game 1 going to be between SortOf and herO. Let's go. Let us go. Also, a big shout out to Psycons in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 13 months, over a year of support. Likewise with Solensvard for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 9 months as well. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. As we are jumping into our best of 3 quarterfinals match. And this morning in the top left hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Zerg player, from Lena, Sweden, living in South Korea. It is SortOf. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team T1. It is herO. Here we go. And again, bienvenidos one and all. It's exciting to see SortOf once again. SortOf, he rarely competes in these open cups. Remember, SortOf, he did retire from StarCraft for quite some time, recently came back and has been streaming a lot, improving a lot, and has actually taken the time to compete in the KSL. Remember, SortOf is currently living in South Korea. He's been in Korea for quite some time, and I believe the plan is to stay there for the near future at least. And yeah, great to see him take the time to actually compete in some of these events. And we'll see how SortOf compares to herO. herO, of course, being arguably the best player in the world right now. Like herO, if you recall, he has won all of the most recent big premier events, referring to Thunderfire, referring to RSL, referring to the OSC championship, the OSC season 13 championship. herO has won everything. He's won all the big major events over the past 2 months, beating players like Clem, beating players like serral as well. He 3-0'd serral at Thunderfire, which was crazy. So yeah, herO, he is looking in form. He's the best Protoss in the world and arguably the best player at the moment as well. So it's going to be a challenge for anyone to stop him. Oh boy. So now we do have our hatch gas pool. We do see the unnatural natural being taken here by SortOf, so a bit of an awkward start out of our Zerg player, forced to expand at the 3rd location. From here we can try to spread creep a little bit faster across the map. We can try to turn this into an aggressive follow-up, but the problem is that welcome to Winter Madness, right? Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. The 3rd base is a little bit more defendable here, so trying to all in on this map is difficult. It is a difficult task to accomplish. It is often ill-advised. We often do see a lot more mid-game play instead. So we'll see how SortOf recovers. Meanwhile, standard opener. Standard opener out of herO, going for the Stargate. The question becomes, though, what is going to be his take of choice after the Stargate? Again, if you've been watching a lot of herO recently, referring to a series against herO, what did herO do? Every game against herO, different variations of charge-based builds. And we have seen players like Classic and other top Protoss players follow suit. Long gone, I say long gone, but now we do see a bit of a shift in the meta. Players are now going less and less into +1 and blink, and more into +1 and charge. And these early charge timings have been catching a lot of Zerg players off guard. Does feel like we're kind of in an adaptive period here, where Protoss players are changing their styles, and Zerg players need to adapt to this. Need to adapt. As the initial adept, it does poke in, it gets a ling, does shade away, no major damage so far, and it's going to be a Void Ray follow-up out of herO. Okay, I wasn't quite expecting that. As we're getting into our game, a big shout out to Rudy2D in the chat. God, my God, thank you so much for subscribing for the first time. Which Prime, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft, and thank you so much for the support. As again, herO did open up not Oracle but Void Ray. What is the purpose of this? To hunt down this Overlord. To hunt down the Overlord, to deny vision, deny scouting, and to keep sort of in the dark. Behind this, we can go into a second Stargate, we can go into a fleet peeking, we can go into a Twilight Council, we can go into a standard follow-up, we can go for something more sinister instead. So herO, he has a lot of options available to him, and the pressure is now on SortOf to figure out what's happening. Has nice movement here out of herO. He does wedge himself in between the gas geyser and the minerals. Ling's going to be forced back. The first Void Ray does move out. The initial Overlord was killed, and we see herO is expanding. Now, this is important here for SortOf to scout. His Lings, they move out, and Lings, they don't get into the main, but they do confirm the timing of the Nexus. So this is a standard Nexus timing here out of herO. Everything so far is looking pretty normal. We do see, and we do confirm Oracle follow-up as well, so it's not mass Void Ray. Oracles are amassing, and again, SortOf just piecing together what herO is up to. As he's forced to pull back all of his Overlords, the Queens are stuck at home. We do have to throw down more Spores. And we have the follow-up. It's going to be the Forge and Twilight Council at a reasonable time. So standard follow-up here out of herO. It was Void Ray just into standard play. The Oracles are moving out as we speak. But as we mentioned, herO has been very fond of +1 and charge as of late. So we'll see if that's going to be the case in this series as well. As two Oracles, they can one-shot drones. Queens so far are keeping up. Nice movement here by SortOf. It's going to be a 5-minute lair timing. I believe lair before Eva Chamber. Yeah, no other tech. No Eva Chamber, no Roach Warren. Ooh, that is a concern here. So herO, he pokes in. herO, he actually hasn't really scouted the natural yet, so he does have to head in this direction. But as we mentioned at the start of the game, and as we mentioned leading up to this, yep, +1 in charge. As we mentioned before, this has become the new meta, the new almost norm in this matchup, is to not go blink, but to go into a heavy Zealot-based composition instead. Now, oh, okay, we have Overlord speed. Okay, so what I was about to say here is that it's a very late Eva Chamber, so this should be +1 range, not melee. We're going into a more Roach Hydra heavy composition, no Banelings, but delayed Roach Horn here by SortOf. So I'm a little bit concerned. He has been cutting some corners, there's range as we did expect, but again, he's getting into a Roach composition, and we'll see how many Roaches he has in time for the first push. Because it is coming. Ideally, we do have the Archon production lined up with the War Prism. So herO can move out with his Prism, with his Zealots. Gateways are on the way. There's that Hydra Den. Now, if SortOf skips Roaches and goes straight to Hydra, then he might just die. Like, he might just topple over and die here to the timing. As for now, we do see droning. Roach speed is on the way, thankfully. Getting into Roach speed. Saturating his bases. We have Storm in production. Storm tells us that herO, he's not going for an Archon timing, he's going for something later. And here he's just banking up back at home. You can see the Zealots warping and the High Templar are gathering energy, just building up those units back at home, harassing lightly here with Adepts and Oracles. SortOf is making a safety amount of Roaches. He droned up to 74. Decent drone count. We have 2 more gates on the way. That's going to be 9 gateways in total. herO could have taken a 4th base by now, but no, he's throwing down extra gateways first, and it looks like the probe is moving out. This should be to expand. Yeah, he's moving out towards the 4th base, expanding with his army. So basically herO, he should be pushing on the left-hand side, and he's expanding behind it to protect it at the same time. Nice transfuse. Saves the queen. Hive is on the way. SortOf, it looks like he's going to be going for... He's not going to be going for layer tech lurkers. So he's building up his Roach Hydra. Lurker's going to be delayed. Oh! Does not catch the Oracle. And here he's pushing. Here we go. Now, I assumed that he was going to be moving out with a Warp Prism. That is not the case. There is no Prism. He's going to be warping in and reinforcing from back at home. And here he comes. He has a massive amount of Zealots. He has how many Templar? 4. 4 Templar, at least 4 Storms. Lurker then is just now on the way. Remember, this is for Hive Tech Lurkers, but here he's going to hit first. Yeah, he does strike. Oh, no, the Hydras are exposed. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, 1 Hydra going down. Another getting softened up. The Storm on the Roaches. Oof. Yeah, the Storms are brutal. We have, what, 2, 3 more Storms left. Oh, God. The Storms, they soften up the Roaches. Oh, God. Yeah, the Storms are brutal here, and SortOf, he just cannot engage. He cannot engage. You can see the Roaches are all deep in the red thanks to all the Storms. Now we get a couple of Archon volleys. And here is done it. Here he breaks the third base. The third base has broken. More Zealots, they reinforce from across the map. And again, the Storms are brutal. Brutal Storms. And with that, here he has done it. He has done it. He has broken SortOf, snowballing out of control from here, pushing in towards the fourth base. More Zealots have arrived. There's all 1 Storm left. Oof. Once again, Storm zoning away those Roaches. And SortOf, it looks like he's going to be able to hold on and fend back this attack, but he's already lost so much. He lost 20 drones and an expansion. So the damage has been done. The damage has been done. We have Immortals being preserved. High Templar were preserved as well. Behind this, I don't even think this is necessary, but here is going into Sky Toss. I mean, went ahead, get further ahead. Fleet Beacons on the way, getting to the Mothership, potentially into carriers. And unfortunately, SortOf, as we were trying to emphasize, he was taking up a little bit too much. Taking up into the Hive, taking up into Lurker Tech, into Lurker upgrades. And unfortunately, none of this came into play, right? It was too late, right? So we were getting ready for a longer game. Yeah, GG gets called. And herO takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, this is a style that has been rising in popularity. As we were emphasizing, this is how herO 3-0'd Serral as well, just because a lot of Zerg players have been conditioned to go into a longer game state, right? To try to, especially on these larger maps as well, to be able to get into your Roaches, get into your Hydras, or to get into your Ling Hydra, and then start taking up into Hive Tech. It does mean that there's a big window in time where you're vulnerable. I would say that against herO, against these more assertive and aggressive and early Zealot timing attacks, it is imperative to build up your mid-game composition. Your Roach Hydra, Banelings being mixed in as well, or even Lair Tech Lurkers, to focus on that mid-game a little bit more here, as again, specifically for herO, he has been abusing the fact that players have been a little bit more greedy. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Question becomes, do we see another Zealot timing? Again, herO's been very, very fond of these charge-based follow-ups and charge-based builds, but not saying that he never goes +1 and blink. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Swedish Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Red Zerg player himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is SortOf. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing T1. It is herO. 1:20 a.m. Oh no. Cuídate, papi. Cuídate. But here we go. Here is setting up on the low grounds, and welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the smallest maps in the map pool. Hyper aggression is favorite here on Tourmaline, so we do expect earlier attacks. We could be seeing herO going into Glaives, right? We could see Stargate into Oracle or into Void Ray into Glaive Adepts instead. We could just see straight Twilight Council opener out of herO. Likewise, SortOf, we're expecting an earlier Roach Warren, right? We're expecting an earlier Roach Warren. Last game was a 5-minute lair. This time we're expecting like a 4-minute Roach Warren instead, before the lair. Oh, hello. SortOf, he's going for a delayed gas build. Okay, he's going hatch pool gas, so later gas geyser, later link speed. I will say that link speed isn't really the most important upgrade in this matchup in ZVP. The downside of delaying your link speed means that you delay aggression and you delay harassing at the third, but at this level of play, like links harassing the space won't really or shouldn't really get anything done. So delaying link speed here. This could actually lead into earlier lair instead. Like, because link speed is going to be a little bit delayed, we might just preserve that gas and spend on a lair timing. Or an early roach horn. We'll see. We'll see where that first 100 gas is going to be spent. As here, he is just being as annoying as possible. Just tasing away at the drones. Behind this, we have our pylon placement. So typically with a Stargate opener, the pylon is placed a little bit further on the right-hand side. To see it placed here next to the gas geyser does mean that we could even go for a different tech structure or Stargate into Void Ray. Show us what you got. Stargate. So Stargate opener here out of herO. We'll see if he goes for the Oracle or Void Ray this time. Remember last game it was Void Ray first to hunt out the Overlords. I'm not opposed to him kind of making it look like the same build 2 games in a row. Meanwhile, link speed is being researched and sort of he pulls out. So he pulls out of gas, only link speed. It's going to be later or delayed link speed compared to a regular build. But as we mentioned, link speed isn't the most important upgrade. Not in this matchup. Oh. That's here it gets hunted down. There's a third. At the same time, Adept does shade in towards the mineral line. And ooh, drones are going to get saved. They do pull away. We have some denied mining time, but nothing too major here. And here is going Oracle first, not Void Ray this time. So we're going for the Oracles. Everything so far is looking standard. Adepts, Oracles, no denied vision, no denied scouting. In a standard game, this should lead into a third and lead in towards later tech structures. So far, so good. Oh. Here it does take down the tumor. Cancels the shade. Here comes the third base out of herO. And we'll see if he goes into blink this time. Oh. The Oracle does break forward. Gets one, gets two. Again, because of the size of the map, there's a higher chance that the Zerg player should be the aggressor this time, so there's going to be likewise a higher chance that herO goes into blink instead of charge. We'll see. We'll see how safely he plays. As the Oracle does poke in, gets one, gets two drones. Takes a lot of hull damage. Jesus, oh my god. Getting a little bit greedy towards the end. But does pull away. Meanwhile, Twilight Council and Forge gets thrown down as the third base is almost done. So this is a standard timing here with the Twilight Council and Forge. Last game this led into +1 in charge. This time, do we see the same or do we go into blink instead? Still on the table. Meanwhile, as we assumed, this is a 5-minute Roach Horn. Remember, last game was a 5-minute lair. So, sort of, this time he's going for a faster Roach Horn and delaying his lair instead. This time it's going to be a safer build out of SortOf. I mean, safer or more aggressive depending on your outlook, of course, but faster Roaches. Also, if you notice, no Eva Chamber. Right, there's no chamber, not yet. So no setup for upgrades. There's a lair. So Roach Horn into lair, into delayed Eva Chamber, into potentially non-existent Eva Chamber. Oh no, there it is. It's going to be delayed. So here it does poke in. We have confirmation this time it is going to be blink, not charge. As you mentioned before, this does make more sense if herO believes that SortOf is going to be more aggressive. Blink has a lot of value, of course, when it comes to your micro, your control. And here has shown off some very impressive defenses and holds against all-ins with Mass Blink Stalker. Shiro pokes in, takes down the tumor. We do have extra gases being taken, so SortOf he's getting up to full 3-base saturation and even joining up a little bit further. So SortOf he's getting in towards the mid game. He's joining up his 4th, and similarly to last game, infestation bits, hydrogen. So just like last game here, SortOf is building up in towards a later game. Meanwhile, 1, 2 drones getting picked off. but this means that SortOf is not being aggressive. It means that this early roach horn timing was just to be safe. So it was just a safer build here by SortOf. He's already got a handful of roaches, and now he's going back into droning and teching. So this tells us that SortOf is going to be more passive. I mean he is, right? He is being more passive, more defensive. Ooh, as more drones are going down, getting into 3-4 drone kills. Ay. Meanwhile, here he's turtling up quite hard. We have shield batteries, cannons, stasis traps, 3 cannons even as well. I would say that this is an overreaction. We did mention earlier that just the likelihood of SortOf being aggressive was higher here, and it looks like herO, I mean, that's why he went blink, and you can see it here as well that herO was just assuming that was the case. We can now see, and herO now confirms as well that it wasn't the case, that SortOf was droning, so this actually puts herO in a worse position, right? These resources spent on cannons and shield batteries could have been spent on another expansion or earlier in extra gateways. But the fact that we're not seeing a 4th base, oh, there we go. 4th base is on the way. Once again, herO expanding towards the Zerg, right? This is an aggressive expansion out of herO. What does this mean? This means that he does not need a warp prism or a proxy gateway, because he can warp in here, and look at how small the map is. They're already touching tips, right? The 4 expansions are already on the same screen. So here he can just warp in here at his base and essentially reinforce on the front lines at the same time. So he's setting up here. Throwing down more cannons, more stasis traps. Oh! Lings, they attempt to slip by. Here is in position. Fleet beacons on the way. Should be for the mothership. Here he's setting up his wall. And SortOf, he can't quite engage. Once again, we have the Lurker Den on the way. Hive is already done, so he's working towards those Lurker upgrades. The Lurker Den is a little bit late. Ideally, you want the Lurker Den finishing as the Hive finishes, so you can start the upgrades immediately. Ooh, the wall is still a wall. Okay, quick reactions out of herO. Very quick reactions. SortOf does push forward. There's plenty of storms. As herO was a little bit trigger happy. And as he defends with storms, he goes for a counterattack at the same time. SortOf out of position. herO, he pokes in. He does not commit though, but he will distract. So this is giving herO more time to build up. At the same time, it's also allowing SortOf to build up his lurker count. So SortOf is actually getting into the mid game. herO is 0 detection. He cannot fight the lurkers. At the same time, ooh, storms they do zone. SortOf has to respect it. More lurkers morphing in. And herO, he doesn't rotate. The High Templar exposed. They're losing 1, losing 2. They're losing 3 High Templar, forcing the morphing as well. A better fight here for SortOf. And herO now rotates. He pulls back with his second army. Pulls everything together, but now there are lurkers. How many lurkers are there? 11. 11 lurkers should be enough to hold on. Should be. Crazy blink. Blinks forward, High Templar go down, but where's the support? Oh, no! Yeah, there's no support. No support for the army. Every lurker will go down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, 11 lurkers are good and all, but there was nothing to defend, nothing to protect them. Lurkers are so fragile. And every lurker goes down. Clutch transfused. Oh, no. Yeah, the final lurker falls. And here it takes a massive fight. He kills 11 lurkers. Ay, ay, ay. And again, SortOf, he was almost there. He was almost there. GG gets called. herO snowballs out of control before he gets into Sky Tilts. Remember, he was making Tempest, by the way. GG. GG, well played. herO will take the 2-0 win. Ooh, GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. Against SortOf, he almost got into the late game. He almost got there. He almost survived. He was able to build up into Hive, build up into his lurkers. But as we mentioned, sure, he had 11 lurkers, but he had no support. He needs that buffer. He needs those units to soak, to tank, to distract, to actually buffer for those lurkers. If they're on their own, they just topple over, right? Lurkers, they just topple over. They cannot hold their own. GG. GG, well played. herO sees the opening as well. Bearing in mind that herO, he didn't have to push there. He could have just chilled. Remember, he was making Tempest. Could have built up into Skytoss, but he saw the opening. He saw just the lack of units protecting the lurkers. Just went for it. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. herO does advance on into the next round. He does advance on into the semifinals, and we'll be following him into those semis. Let's go. Let us go. As you can see here, our next series is going to be a PvT between herO and Cure.